Good morning. My name is Dr. Yasser Dergham. I'm technical and sales manager of a Humintech company in Germany. I'm happy to be here and to present our production Humintech, and I will make a presentation about humic acid and the microorganism for better agriculture yields. And every agriculture media contain, for example, soil in open field or in greenhouses, or soulless media like peat, cocoa peat, perlite, or a liquid form like aquaculture is the mineral and water. But we will speak here about the soil and the soil in greenhouses and open field. Every soil contains three parts. One part is mineral part, suppose the plant with nutrients, and is about 45% of the soil content. The other part is organic matter in the soil is about 5%, but support the plant with nutrients too, special trace element, and give the soil a good structure. And the other part is water and air, and the soil is very important to support the plant with the water and the air to support the plant with oxygen. And the content of water is about 25% and air at 25% and organic matter about 5%. We will speak of the part of organic matter. And organic matter in the soil divide in three parts too. One part is, we call it humus or decomposite matters. And second part is not decomposite or undecomposite matter like root, some wood, some leaves, and extra the residue of the plant, but not composted, not degraded. And the other part is microorganisms like worm and other microorganisms in the soil. It is for the plant is very important the part with decomposite matter. It means humus, humic, and not humic matter. Not humic matter like protein, some polysaccharide, and other polymer, organic polymer, but not in a humic acid form. A humic acid form or humid substance form contain one part is inert, is not active. We call it humin. It is polymer, very complicated polymer, stable in the soil and give the soil a good structure. And the other part is humic acid. And humic acid divide to humic acid and fulvic acid. Fulvic acid is a small size molecular, and humic acid is a big size molecular. And the both part is very active and important for the plant nutrients. The difference between fulvic acid and humic acid is the size of the size of molecular size. For example, fulvic acid, the molecular size is very small and very active and contain a lot of carboxyl. And as you see and down of this slide, humic acid is contain more aromatic part in the molecular. It means more stable and contain both carboxyl and hydroxyl. And this two kind of active side of the humic acid give me the ability to make chelate for trace element. It is very important for chelating of trace element with humic acid. Humic acid in the nature you can find everywhere. For example, in every agricultural soil, you can find in the top layer of the soil between 0 to 3%. Between this is the first 25 centimeters, you can find 3% if you have very high organic matter and humic acid content in the soil. And in some desert area or sandy soil, the humic acid content and fulvic acid about 0. In agriculture composted material, like straw and etc., you can find 3 to 5%. And other chicken manure were composted very well and have a dark color. It could be have 2 to 5%. And the stable humic acid is more in peat, like white peat and black peat, 10 to 15%. And in brown coal, we call it by us lignite, and lignite contain 10 to 30% of humic acid, like brown coal is a black color of coal. And high oxidized lignite, we call it leonardite, and contains a high ratio of humic and fulvic acid, mainly humic acid and less fulvic acid inside. And this leonardite is the best resource for humic acid to use in agriculture and commercial. Humintech company is a German company specialized with production of humic acid and humic acid substances. The capacity of the company about 10,000 tons per year water-soluble humic acid and 30,000 per year granulated humic acid, like per humus with MBK or with fertilizer or without fertilizer. And we have a special product for animal feed and industry sector, about 5,000 tons. And we produce in liquid form about 3 million liters per year for agriculture and industrial usage. And Humintech company export their product, 80% of their product, to over about 70 countries worldwide. A Humintech activity is not only to produce only one product and sell it. We have activity to share our experience with our partner worldwide. Therefore, we hold 1 or 2 workshops for several areas in the world, like in Latin America. The last one, it was in Chile. It was one in China with Asiat partner, and one in South Korea, another one in North Africa and South Europe. And every year we make this meeting to exchange the experience with this product and to show our customer the new product and new activity. And on the other side, we participate in several exhibitions and conferences worldwide. For example, the Green Tech in Holland, it will be held next week. IPM in Germany, Fortlogistica in Germany too, and Green Tech in Brazil. We were several times together with Plant Defender company, with our partner there, and Siam in Morocco, and Horti Fair and Hortitech, Saudi Agriculture, and Yuk Agro in Krasnodar. It will be in November. And CHC next year in Shanghai, and other activity and exhibition to introduce our product and to get more experience from the market. We cooperate with several organizations worldwide, like HSSS and Humic Producer Trade, and we have a German organization, IVG, it means industrial producer, and we have some contact with the German Torf Society, and we registered our product in several organic institutes like EcoCert, OMRI, and FeebleList. And the product what we will produce is about 80% for agriculture usage, and we have other for animal usage, industry usage, and for environmental protection. In agriculture sector, humic acid could be applied in seed treatment, in foliar application. You can use in drip system, sprinkle, and to mix with the soil like in granule form. We have generally about 19 different products. The fat-free product is the main product of a Humintech company, is a humic acid humus in liquid form. We have a power humus in water-soluble form, per humus in granulate form, and afterward we have some product with nitrogen with NPK with a trace element, and human feed for animal feed. And we have a fulvic acid, pure fulvic acid with some trace element. And we have a new product, we call it HS300. It is a suspension of humic acid molecular. It is microcarbon, was not oxidized. And we have Fulvagra, a new product with fulvic acid, and other we have some amino acid. And it's very important, the product Humicraft is a mixture of a humic acid, amino acid, and seaweed. It is a very strong biostimulant product. And we have a product as biohealth with trichoderma. Is mixed humic acid, seaweed, and some microorganisms like trichoderma. And other product, biohealth BS, it is with Bacillus subtilis, and the mixture of the product humic acid, seaweed, trichoderma, Bacillus subtilis. And we have a new product I will show you in the second part of my presentation, a humic acid with mycorrhiza. A Humintech product is packed in several sizes. For example, in liquid form, we have a size for 1 liter, 5 liter, 10 liter, 20 liters. And for solid form, we have 1 kilo, 5 kilo, 10 kilo, and 25 kilos. And as I mentioned before, we export our product to over than 70 countries worldwide. And if you can see here in this map, the mainly usage of humic acid is acidic and some acidic area. It means with less organic matter in the soil, and the effect of a humic acid is huge because they need a lot of organic matter in form of a humic acid. Why we use a humic acid and which benefit of a humic acid in the soil? I will explain you in the next slide about physical benefit, chemical benefit of a humic acid, and biological and economical benefit is very important for the end user. Physically, it is very important in the sandy soil. If you have a sandy soil, you can see in the slide that is the water or nutrient will leaching very quickly and the plant cannot use it. And when we add the humic acid make the sandy soil very compact and reduce the leaching of nutrients and increase the water holding capacity of the soil. And in this way, the plant roots can take the water and nutrients easy from the sandy soil. Clay soil is opposite. Normally, clay soil is very compact and fixed. The nutrients is very strong. The plant cannot use it. And humic acid can penetrate between the slide of the clay and makes the soil very porosity. It means increase the porosity of the soil, and water, roots, and air can penetrate easy in the soil. And you can see the plant can take more nutrients and take more air and oxygen than in clay without humic acid. And the humic acid itself, it has very high cation exchange capacity. When you mix it with the soil, it increases the cation exchange capacity of the soil. And cation exchange capacity is very important in the soil to make the nutrients long time available for the plant. And as I mentioned before, the humic acid, because they have different active site, it can chelate trace elements very, very good and give the plant an easy way. And in this way, they can chelate fixed trace element in the soil and increase its availability to the plant. And humic acid have a high buffer capacity due its high cation exchange capacity. It means it keeps the pH value in the soil in the stable form, in neutral form. And as you can see here in this slide, the availability of the nutrient is mainly available in neutral pH value. It means between 6.5 and 7.5. And the humic acid helps the soil to keep the pH in this value. And the other option of humic acid chemically benefit is to break down the salinity. Humic acid, especially with the potassium humate, contain a lot of potassium. And when we have salinity like sodium chloride or sodium carbonate, humic acid can exchange the potassium to sodium. It means the break down the salts as sodium chloride and build potassium chloride. And potassium chloride is available for the plant because the potassium is very important for the plant. And chlor, because it's negative charge, it can leach it down, and in this way, the effect of salinity will reduce it. With calcium carbonate, the same way, humic acid can exchange to calcium and release potassium to the soil, and the carbonate, CO3, sometimes divide to CO2, and as gas or form, we call it carbonic acid. And this way, the salinity reduce in the surface of the soil, as you see in the graphic. The red color is the soil salinity without humic acid, and the green color, the line, is the reduce the salinity concentration or the salt concentration in the surface of the soil is the first 6 centimeters deep in the soil. Biologically, benefit is very important for the plant because humic acid can support the microorganisms, especially beneficial microorganisms with the carbon, especially for saprophytic microorganisms like Trichoderma, Bacillus subtilis, Actinomycetes, and other Pseudomonas, and mycorrhiza. And with this way, the population of microorganisms is increased, and on the plant direct, increase root permeable for, or the uptake for nutrients, and increase the seed and the speed of the seed germination. It means the speed and the rate of seed germination increased with the humic acid, and stimulates the root growth. This is very important, and synthesize of amino acid, and produce a humic acid, some kind like biostimulant, or that has the same effect like hormone effect, like plant hormone effect. Economically is very important for the end user. It means quality, and the quality of yield increase 10 to 30% depend on the area where they use and which plant they use, and decrease the need of fertilizer up to 30% because the availability of fertilizer increased with the humic acid. And especially with sandy soil, decrease the water demand. It means with water holding capacity increased, the watering or the need of the water decreased. And not all humic acid are the same, especially the humic acid, you have to keep the bioactivity of a humic acid. Humic acid, there are a lot of humic acid in the market, but it's different from one area to other area. It depends on the raw material, which kind of humic acid, where they come from, and the basic raw material is very important. They come from wood, hardwood, weed, or softwood, and the humidification process is very important. How is the building of a humic acid? Which temperature, which time, which pressure, and how deep or how would the contact with the oxygen, how the oxidation process. And the third important part for humic acid quality, the isolation of a humic acid, which temperature and which chemical you use. And sometimes you have a very good leonardite or humic acid, but during the isolation, maybe you damage the humic acid quality. And here in the picture down, you see the solubility difference between Humintech product, poor humus is water soluble form, and other humic acid in the market. And you can see in the medium on the right side, the humic acid coming quickly down. It means it's not pure. And if you have the solubility is like the left picture, you can see the solubility is very slow and homogeneous. It means this product is pure. And we make some tests about the bioactivity of a humic acid from Humintech compared to other humic acid. And you see the medium picture, it is humic acid from the market. They claim 85% humic acid, but the plant is still small and make the trays dirty. It means not pure humic acid. And the right one, and you can see the plant is bigger and the tray is clean. It means the pure humic acid. And the left picture, you can see open the humic acid from the market and down is poor humus, and see the plant reacts very positive with the Humintech product. That was my first part of my presentation, and second part I will speak about some product of our product of Humintech and some result worldwide what we get with product. I will speak about poor humus, leak humus, spare humus, and bioheads. Thank you, and see you in second part of my presentation.